All right, Justin has a question next. He says, my wife and I moved recently into our new home. We are renting out our old one to a military family for the next 4 years, but then plan to sell. We currently have about $200K in equity in that home. So when we sell, should we roll over that equity into our new home or plan to invest that money? How should they think about that?
But I just can't, because this is where the CPA in me and I'll let you clean it up.
I saw it too.
Justin, I just want to make sure, because look, you do have, there is a fork in the road moment that happens when you have your primary residence and you decide to rent it out. Especially after we just came through that post-2020 period where housing went up 40 to 60%, depending upon where you live. There's a lot of appreciation that happened in primary residences and in housing in general. Is that the fork in the road moment is you like, do I sell it and take, and here's the deal the government offers you. If you've lived in this house 2 of the last 5 years, for a married couple, there is a $500,000 tax-free gain waiting for you. Yeah,
huge.
Up to $500,000 of gains are completely tax-free. Now, notice I said 2 out of the last 5 years. So there's potential you can actually rent this house out for the next 2 to 3 years and still be right within that window because you will have lived in it for 2 of the last 5 years. Or you decide, you know what, this is going to be the start of my rental empire, and I'm just going to rent it out, and then I'm going to forego that $500,000 of tax-free gain exclusion that the government has set up for me. By the way, it's $250,000 for single individuals, if you're curious. So to hear you say that you're going to sell this thing in 4 years, I'm like, whew. Oh, it just,
are you sure you don't want to do 3?
You're a year outside of that $500,000 potential gain exclusion. I want to make sure, Justin, you're aware of that part of the tax code, because you're like you hear the tagline, day late, dollar short. You're going to be a year late on taking advantage of this $500,000 opportunity. So just be aware of that. I'll let you answer the rest of it, but I couldn't help. My CPA self couldn't help you.
That's huge. So then the question becomes, all right, well, when we sell it, whenever we sell it, we have $200,000 of equity. What do we do with it? Well, we're good financial advisors, so our answer is going to be, it depends, right? It depends on how old you are and where you are in your wealth building journey. It really comes down to like opportunity cost. That $200,000, where will it be best utilized based on where I am in my financial journey? Perhaps I'm someone who maybe I didn't save in my 20s and 30s quite the way that I should have, and I know I'm a little bit behind, and I've done the Know Your Number course, and I know what I need to get to, and I know where I'm at, but man, there's a big shortfall, and I don't know if I'm able to save there. This might be a great opportunity for you to take that $200,000 and put it to work for you, especially if the house you moved into is at like a low mortgage rate. Maybe it's at a really attractive mortgage rate. Or let's flip the script. Maybe you bought the house and the interest rate's not incredibly attractive right now. It's something like 7%, but you've been a really diligent saver. And when you look at your portfolio, it's pretty robust. You've been saving and doing the stuff you're supposed to be doing, following the financial order of operations, and maybe you're getting a little bit older. Maybe you were around that 45-ish year age mark, and you say, man, one of my goals is I really want to be debt-free as I get closer to retirement, as I enter into retirement. And boy, wouldn't it be nice to take that $200,000 of equity that I already built on the home. When I sell that home, I'm going to roll that into this house, and I'm going to be that much closer to being debt-free. You have to do the analysis based on what is the interest rate I'm paying on the debt and what is the rate of return that I could receive based on where I am in my financial journey if I were to invest these dollars. And you're going to have to make a decision on that. But that decision will be different for different people, even in the same circumstance. It really depends on what your goals are, what you've been doing thus far, and what you want the long-term picture to look like. Now, I'm going to throw two caveats on there. Let's say that interest rates are at like 7% right now, or that's what the rates are on your mortgage. Just because they're at 7% does not mean that they're going to be at 7% forever. So I do think there likely at some point will be an opportunity to refinance. Now, you might not go back down to 2.5%, but you might go down to like 5%. So that's something that you want to be aware of. If you do decide that it makes the most sense to dump $200,000 on the current mortgage, one of the things I might think through is, okay, even if I do that, it's not going to change my, I don't want to do that and allow my payment, like I don't want to do a refinance or drop my payment. I want to make sure that Doing that allows me not to stretch the debt out over a longer amount of time. And actually, I stay on the same exact payment schedule so that I get debt free on the same timeline. Make sure you use it as not as a crutch to limit your wealth building, but as an accelerator to accelerate your future wealth building.
I always get, because it is true, a good financial planner, a lot of times when people ask us questions, will say it depends. And it's such a cop-out. You're like, I wanted specifics. Look, we've got the backdrop for you. This is why we give it completely away for free. moneyguy.com/resources. It depends on where you are in the financial order of operations. And that's why Bo was, because I was sitting there thinking everything Bo is saying ties right into this, because if your interest rate that's offered, on the mortgage is going to be considered higher interest rate, or, that's why he said the whole refinance part, because maybe mortgage gets an asterisk next to it. But it's also going to let you say, because if you have two houses now, you have your primary, then now you've got a rental, so you got these two homes. Maybe you didn't do everything you were supposed to because you were focused on becoming an investor in real estate. And you never got those Roth contributions. You weren't getting up to 20-25% in savings and investments. This is the time when you get that $200,000 to triage yourself and be honest about where you are in the financial order of operations, because that's going to tell you what to do with all those army of dollars to be the most efficient and effective way with every dollar that you manage.